All right, back at it again. What's good, YouTube? So, today's video, are you cooked or is the job market cooked? So, it's the only one way to find out from your boy, truly. So, it's been a lot of complaints. It's been a lot of noise out there that, hey, all these companies are laying off. There are no jobs. This entry level is disappearing. AI is taking over. All the above is like, yes, there is some truth to that, and there's also some falsehoods to that. It's a little mix of both. Right now, it's a lot of confusion, it's a lot of chaos going on in the market right now, and people just want to get a job, get a job, not get laid off, all the above. So today we're just gonna be discussing all that. Like, is it you, us, the people? Are we cooked out here? Like, are we the problem? Are we not good enough, or is it the companies? Are their practices the way they're doing things, the way they're operating, or is it the way they're operating? That's wrong. So like, who's right, who's wrong here, or maybe we're both right, both maybe both wrong. So let's find the truth and the lies in between all this. So just to get things started off is like the layoffs. That's really where we're just gonna kind of start with that. A lot of major companies laying off: Facebook, aka Meta, Microsoft, um, Oracle, AT&T, just to name a few companies, right? So there's some big players in the tech space and just big players in general, and massive layoffs. They write it off. Oh, AI is replacing jobs and everything like that. I'm like, no, no, that's a damn lie. Because that's India. I call that India outsourcing, aka I call that layoff for now, or let's just rehire everybody back. Either way, right now we're in a downturn in the economy, and so they're trying to make sure that their investors are getting, you know, those pretty numbers on their portfolio. So, it's a numbers game, really. When these businesses are making these decisions and making these moves, it's just business moves. That's really what it is when they're doing these, Oracle 30,000 layoff, right? We are an expense on this Excel spreadsheet to where us as employees, we cost money. Like, we cost a lot of money, especially, the higher paid employees, like software developers, infosec people, like, whatever, just high paying tech fields is cost a lot of money. So they got to make a profit. So the easy way to do that is let go a lot of people and just rehire back, or outsource to India and just call it AI, or truly just try to jump off the porch with just AI like Klarna did. But I think it was like 2 years back, they already their whole customer support service team and try to place it with AI, but that backfired very quickly because it was KO first, and then it just started backfiring because AI is not that good at customer service, and you start to learn AI is not really good at a lot of things. And so they had to rehire back their whole entire staff of customer service people because nobody wants to keep on dealing with the human. Because the reason why I backfired is because it wasn't directing people to where they needed to go. It just wasn't getting people the results they needed. You know how it is when you're trying to deal with you call whatever, get your a council a bill or whatever it may be. You got to talk to the little robot on the phone, be like, yes, I'll need the billing department. You need this department. No, I need billing. So going through the whole thing. So it's not as intelligent as a lot of companies chalk it up to be. And then that just brings on to the next step is where they saying they're laying off people due to AI. Like, no, AI is not there yet. It's the biggest thing is, if you're not familiar with AI, let's talk about hallucinations. I use AI on a regular basis a lot, so it's a lot of people in my field. If for you, those of you that don't know, I am engineer, so it stands for identity access management. So that's part of InfoSec, specialized in Okta. So that's where I'm currently at in my career. I've been like that for the past year and a half, 2 years. So just any other fields, software developers, network engineers, whatever career field of tech that you're in, or even non-technical, right? If you're using AI on a heavy regular basis, especially having one continuous chat or trying to get AI to chain a whole bunch of things together, it will start to hallucinate. Hallucinate meaning it will start to derail from the conversation. It will start to add in details that were never there, that are not needed or unnecessary. It will forget the couple previous steps that you walked through with AI, to where now you asked it, where did I'll give an example. Like, I was working on building out a Okta workflow because I'm doing a project at my company to help automate one of our applications, and so I had to use Postman to do some GET requests to figure out some API things I needed so I could build out an Okta workflow. So I had ChatGPT help me try to build this process out, and so I did that Sunday. Then come fast forward today to Monday, to where I need to pick up where I left off. I'm like, hey, do you remember? Because by the end of it, we have to get everything working in Postman wells to where now I can build the Okta workflow. So when it came time for me to go hit ChatGPT back up, I'm like, hey, do you remember where we left off? It just like it didn't recall. It's still recalling like we still need to go through some stuff with Postman. No. Yeah, that's those issues. It like I'm like, no, I had to remind it, hey, remember we finished up with Postman? Oh yeah. So yeah, next it'll be building this. I'm like, okay. So like I had to remind it of where we last left off. We were just supposed to be reminding me where we supposed to last left off. Something that simple, but it couldn't recall properly. But once I reminded it, it then was able to pull the proper data to where it has a hard time pulling the correct things that you need at times to where it'll mispull a lot of a lot of information, or if you upload your resume to it, it'll start adding a whole bunch of details into your resume that are not accurate to your current job experience or past job experiences. So it will just start to miss information either way. I start to add and remove things that do not need to be added and removed. It just starts to do things on its own. So like how people fear like, oh no, the robot's gonna take over, it's gonna have a mind of its own. Yeah, that's really what it does. It just kind of runs off. It's like a toddler. You gotta hold his little hand the whole way through, because you let this little toddler go run off, it's gonna run off and burn the whole house down. So AI is just not there yet. So when companies are saying, people like, no, they're outsourcing or they're just rehiring back quietly. Like it's not AI is taking over. Like no, right? Only is really AI really runs a company for someone that's like a small business solopreneur type situation. But at a mass large scale, these major companies, yes, they're trying to get it to be that way, but it's not. Plus, also on the back end too, is they're cutting back on AI too because it costs so much. To where Microsoft got like a $500 million bill for all the token usage. It's very expensive to use, especially when you're doing software development, you're generating images, or just overall prolonged use and heavy usage is very expensive for these companies. So like in my company, we limit who has access to what AI models, and we have very structured in a certain way to where token usage isn't killing us in the pockets. Yeah, because AI is very helpful, helps speed things up, but it's not that worth it to where it's worth the amount of money. Because right, the cost of employee versus cost of AI agent or AI services is not it's not adding up. So where they're downscaling at a rapid rate, and even still looking there, a lot of companies are looking at Chinese AI models since they're a lot cheaper, which there's a big security risk in that. But I digress. So yes, so the industry, the companies have been just kind of all over the place doing a lot of craziness, right? Then let's bring it back down to us, the people, right? Um, thing is, a lot of people, over the past couple years have been lying on the resume, job stacking like crazy and getting on jobs. Your companies were just hiring since COVID was the golden age. That between 2020 and 2022 was like the golden age, even a little bit into 2023. But things started to shut down and shifted starting 2024. But just that golden age of where companies were just hiring massively, they weren't really like, you didn't have to really be a producer. You didn't really have to bring much or have much value, right? So where companies is started to crack down on that, because you got all these people like, oh, welcome to a day in my life as a project manager or as this or engineer or that, and where people are literally just spending the whole day, back when remote work was heavy. So everybody's remote. People were making YouTube videos of them going to coffee shops, going to the beach, going shopping. They doing everything on a full 8 hour work day. They may stop into office once or twice, like people are just showing like, I'm just doing no work. They're making YouTube videos, welcome to day of my life, and just glorifying the crap out of it because they ain't doing no work. They get paid 6 figure salaries or a high income, not even 6 figures, but just high income just for doing nothing. So you think HR is not gonna see this and everything like that? Like, oh yeah, they're starting to realize, what are we paying all these people for? Like, so they start cracking that over time. That's where the layoffs started coming in droves. And yeah, so a lot of people told on themselves. And I'm saying everybody did, but I said a lot of people told on themselves. Let's see what else. And then, like I said, just a lot of people just were unqualified, to where now they're actually starting to. It's really coming to the point where you got to really hit the ground running. Like if you're not hitting the ground running, if you don't have already the skill set, so where it's not gonna pan out to where, uh, I don't believe entry level is going away. Entry level just looks different, right? So yes, it's getting, you got to find a company where you can get your start at. There's plenty of companies, especially really wanting you to start MSP. I always tell people MSP, managed service provider. That will get you all your base level set skills you need for troubleshooting and get familiar with any and everything technical. Their MSPs are always hiring. People are always coming in and out of MSPs. MSPs are constantly always growing. That's how I was able to get my big start. Um, was one of my big starts was through MSP. Right, you get very hands on with a lot of tools with cloud, firewalls, and troubleshooting. Well, depending on type of MSP you're at, very if you're the larger ones, you might not be able to get as hands on as you want to. Versus if you're a smaller one, you got to be hands on. I always recommend go for smaller companies. You get your feet wet a little bit more. Versus going for these larger companies, you're going to get very siloed. You're not really going to know how to work in any of the systems. You're not really going to get the opportunity to touch many other tools. You get to touch your one set of tools, and that'll be it. And that's also another thing too. Issue is everybody who has the dream of all the FANG companies or all the major companies. No, at a lot of these larger companies, you will be siloed. You will be siloed if you do not know what silo means. Meaning you like a missile silo. Each missile separate out of individual. They do not touch. You do not. There's no intermingling. There's no none of that. You are set with your set of tools and your set access to where if you want to touch this next piece of this of a tool, I mean, next wanting another piece of permissions to do more within this tool, you're gonna have to become a tier 2, tier 3, got to move up or get a promotion. It's very stringent. Versus if you're at these smaller companies, you get more hands-on experience, work with a lot more stuff. You have more input. You have a chance to grow and develop, or even grow and develop with the company if you choose to stay with the company. Trust me, take it from me. I've been there, done that. So that's how I was able to get my skill set up. Was doing that with multiple companies. So so overall, I would say neither the market is cooked nor us as people are cooked. But there's a lot of cooked people out there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The companies are doing what they always have been doing. This is what companies are doing right now. It's nothing new. This is nothing new for the companies, right? Versus our behavior is something new because we haven't had this opportunity before, like we have had since COVID to get into the market like we have. The market is still booming. It's just certain jobs look differently now, or slash aren't in as demand as much. Like software engineers aren't needed as much. I won't say it like that. They're very much needed. It's just you need a different type of software engineer now. You need a software engineer that can manage AI. Because at that point, AI can create as much code as needed. You need someone with best practice. And at this point, software engineers are more like I say architects types. I mean, they're more like architects to where you need someone that can mold and shape the code, right? Necessarily, you don't need someone that can worry about creating code because AI can create the code. You need someone that can shape the code because it creates a lot of slop. You really just having to create a whole bunch of code for you and you just fixing it up, right, to make it all work together because it cannot piece all the code together, especially when you have a huge code repository and everything's just right. It can analyze, it can know what it does, but it doesn't know how to really put the pieces together like a puzzle. And that's where software engineers come into, or someone like my role of identity access management. It helps me do application onboardings when I'm doing skim sso all that type of stuff, right, when I'm dealing with apis, and it's very knowledgeable and everything, but it's not going to do the work for me because every application is a little different. Some of these are more applications a bit more backwater. Some of these applications are more advanced, more cookie cutter. So it just helps me speed up the process, especially when I get stuck on certain things for troubleshooting, uh, integration access. So overall, I'd say we need to step it up. The market's going to do what's going to do regardless, right? But what I mean by we need to step it up is meaning we need to take responsibility. We cannot change the market because the market dictates itself, right? What's ever going to happen is going to happen, right? The market's too big for you to try to control the whole thing or let alone get everybody on. We could all control the market if everybody in the whole entire world got on the same page, but what are the odds of that? So, right, all we can do is control ourselves. That's what we need to worry about is controlling our proximity and what we can do for ourselves. So, the best way to go about that is, right, tighten up your LinkedIn, tighten up your resume, right? Home labs, practice your skill sets, practice for interviews, right? Is to build yourself up properly to become a valuable candidate. If you're valuable for what's in demand, right? Stop worrying about all these jobs that are not in demand. It may be something you may be passionate about, but if the market's not there, you're gonna be killing yourself trying to get into something that's not finna benefit you. Because even if you get it in, get it done. No, that is all right. Pause. But even if you can get in, you're not gonna go very far because if it's already a dying field, it's a dying field. You need to getting where you fit in. That's what I meant to say. So, getting where you fit in, meaning see what's out there, see what's highly in demand. Use AI, be like, hey, AI, what are some of the top? 100 or 50 or whatever, what are the biggest, fields in tech right now that I can get in, whether you go try to go down the path of IT or cybersecurity, right? Start to narrow down what's popping right now. Look at what's hot, right? Then eventually you can maybe work your way into what you want to do at some point. Once you get a little bit more senior and more developed in season, you can see that, okay, you can make a sustainable living in that quote unquote field that you want to go down the further road into, to where right now everybody's focused on all the wrong things and looking at, oh man, the market, man, and it's getting, oh my god, this company laid me off, and it's like, nah, it's just business. The company's gonna do what the company gonna do. Like I said, don't take it personal. It's just business, right? Don't take it personal. Like I said, do what you need to do for yourself. So, like I said, the market overall is going to stay the same. All you need to do is you need to level up and become valuable in the current market. The market has shifted to where a candidate of 5, 2, 3 years ago is not as valuable as a candidate that's learned to shift to this current market, right? So where you need to shift to what the market desires of you right now. Meaning, when I say the market, what the job requirements are for whatever field you're going into. So mold yourself to the requirements. Learn what tools they want you to have. Learn, the way that learn the lingo, learn the certifications, learn what is needed to become valuable in this market, right? So, no, the market is not cooked. You're just cooked. And sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I'm not really sorry. I'm really not at all. But just got to get better, right? Got to get, what I'm saying? In most games, just say get good, new, just back in the day, like there's a get good. Like, come on now. That's all you can do. Like, the game ain't finna change, right? If you play Call of Duty, you play with any type of game, Rocket League, whatever it may be, League of Legends, right? They're gonna tell you, like, if you trash at the game, can't change the game. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate the player, hate the game. But even still hate the game ain't gonna do you much. You gotta get good out there, right? The game is gonna be the game. You just gotta learn how to play it or get played. So that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you enjoy it. All right. Yeah, have a good one.